Keanu Charles Reeves, born September 2, 1964, is a Canadian actor. Born in Beirut, Reeves grew up in Toronto and began acting in theater productions and in television films before making his feature film debut in Youngblood. He had his breakthrough role in the science fiction comedy Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and he later reprised his role in its sequels. He gained praise for playing a hustler in the independent drama My Own Private Idaho, and established himself as an action hero with leading roles in Point Break and Speed. Following several box office failures, Reeves's performance in the horror film The Devil's Advocate was well received. Greater stardom came for playing Neo in the science fiction series The Matrix, beginning in 1999. He played John Constantine in Constantine and starred in the romantic drama The Lake House, the science fiction thriller The Day the Earth Stood Still, and the crime thriller Street Kings. Following a setback, Reeves made a comeback by playing the titular assassin in the John Wick film series, beginning in 2014. In addition to acting, Reeves has directed the film Man of Tai Chi. He has played bass guitar for the band Dogstar and pursued other endeavors such as writing and philanthropy. Early life. Keanu Charles Reeves, the son of Patricia, née Taylor, a costume designer and performer, and Samuel Nowlin Reeves Jr. His mother is English, originating from Essex. His father is from Hawaii and is of native Hawaiian, Chinese, English, Irish and Portuguese descent. His grandmother is Chinese Hawaiian. His mother was working in Beirut when she met his father, who abandoned his wife and family when Reeves was 3 years old. Reeves last met his father on the island of Kauai when he was 13. After his parents divorced in 1966, his mother moved the family to Sydney, Australia, and then to New York City, where she married Paul Aaron, a Broadway and Hollywood director, in 1970. The couple moved to Toronto, Canada, and divorced in 1971. When Reeves was 9, he took part in a theater production of Damn Yankees. Aaron remained close to Reeves, offering him advice and recommending him a job at the Hedgerow Theater in Pennsylvania. Reeves' mother married Robert Miller, a rock music promoter, in 1976. The couple divorced in 1980. She subsequently married her fourth husband, a hairdresser named Jack Bond. The marriage lasted until 1994. Reeves and his sisters grew up primarily in the Yorkville neighborhood of Toronto, with a nanny caring for them frequently. Because of his grandmother's ethnicity, he grew up with Chinese art, furniture, and cuisine. Reeves watched British comedy shows such as The Two Ronnies, and his mother imparted English manners that he has maintained into adulthood. In the cyberpunk action thriller Johnny Mnemonic. It is based on the story of the same name by William Gibson, about a man who has had a cybernetic brain implant. As part of the film studio's marketing efforts, a CD-ROM video game was also released. The film received mainly negative reviews and critics felt Reeves was woefully miscast. He next appeared in the romantic drama A Walk in the Clouds, 1995, which also garnered mixed to negative reviews. Reeves plays a young soldier returning home from World War II, trying to settle down with a woman he married impulsively just before he enlisted. Film critic Mick LaSalle opined that A Walk in the Clouds is for the most part a beautiful, well-acted and emotionally rich picture, whereas Hal Hinson from the Washington Post said, the film has the syrupy, Kodak magic moment look of a Bo Derek movie, and pretty much the same level of substance. In 1999, Reeves starred in the critically acclaimed science fiction film The Matrix, the first installment in what would become the Matrix franchise. Reeves portrays computer programmer Thomas Anderson, a hacker using the alias Neo, who discovers humanity is trapped inside a simulated reality created by intelligent machines. Written and directed by the Wachowskis, Reeves had to prepare by reading Kevin Kelly's Out of Control, The New Biology of Machines, Social Systems, and the Economic World, and Dylan Evans's ideas on evolutionary psychology. The principal cast underwent months of intense training with martial arts choreographer Yuan Wuping to prepare for the fight scenes. The Matrix proved to be a box office success. Several critics considered it to be one of the best science fiction films of all time. In 2001, Reeves continued to explore and accept roles in a diverse range of genres. The first was a romantic comedy, Sweet November, a remake of the 1968 film of the same name. This was his second collaboration with Charlize Theron. The film was met with a generally negative reception. Desson Thompson of The Washington Post criticized it for its syrupy cliches, greeting card wisdom, and over-the-top tragicomedy, but commended Reeves for his likability factor in every performance he gives. By 2002, his professional music career had come to an end when Dogstar disbanded. The band had released 2 albums during their decade together, Our Little Visionary in 1996 and Happy Ending in 2000. After being absent from the screen in 2002, Reeves returned to the Matrix sequels in 2003 with The Matrix Reloaded and The Matrix Revolutions, released in May and November, respectively. Principal photography for both films was completed back-to-back, primarily at Fox Studios in Australia. The Matrix Reloaded garnered mostly favorable reviews. John Powers of LA Weekly praised the dazzling pyrotechnics, but was critical of certain machine-like action scenes. Of Reeves' acting, Powers thought it was somewhat wooden but felt he has the ability to exude a charmed aura. Andrew Walker, writing for the Evening Standard, praised the cinematography. Visually it gives full value as a virtuoso workout for your senses, but he was less taken by the film's dime store philosophy. The film grossed $739 million worldwide. The Matrix Revolutions, the third installment, was met with mixed reception. According to review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes, the consensus was that characters and ideas take a back seat to the special effects. Nevertheless, the film grossed a healthy $427 million worldwide, although less than the 2 previous films. Something's Gotta Give, a romantic comedy, was Reeves' last release of 2003. He co-starred with Jack Nicholson and Diane Keaton, and played Dr. Julian Mercer in the film. Something's Gotta Give received generally favorable reviews. After this series of commercial failures, Reeves' career rebounded in 2014. He played the titular role in the action thriller John Wick, directed by Chad Stahelski. In the first installment of the John Wick franchise, Reeves plays a retired hitman seeking vengeance. He worked closely with the screenwriter to develop the story. We all agreed on the potential of the project. I love the role, but you want the whole story, the whole ensemble to come to life, Reeves said. Filmed on location in the New York City area, the film was eventually released on October 24th in the United States. The Hollywood Reporter was impressed by the director's confident, muscular action debut, and Reeves' effortless performance, which marked his return to the action genre. Jeanette Katsoulis of the New York Times praised Reeves' fight scenes and wrote he is always more comfortable in roles that demand cool over hot, attitude over emotion. John Wick proved to be a box office success, grossing $86 million worldwide. Next, Reeves starred in a smaller-scale horror feature, Knock Knock, 2015, a remake of the 1977 film Death Game. Described as over-the-top destruction by the Toronto Star, Reeves plays a father, home alone, when 2 young women show up and start a game of cat and mouse. Reeves appeared in 5 film releases in 2016. The first was Exposed, a crime thriller about a detective who investigates his partner's death and discovers police corruption along the way. The film received negative reviews for its confused plot, and Reeves was criticized for displaying limited facial expressions. His next release, the comedy Keanu, was better received. In it he voiced the eponymous kitten. Reeves then had a minor role in The Neon Demon, a psychological horror film directed by Nicholas Winding Refn. He played Hank, a lustful motel owner who appears in Jesse's, played by Elle Fanning, Nightmare. In his 4th release he played a charismatic leader of a settlement in The Bad Batch. His final release of the year was The Whole Truth, featuring Gabriel Basso, Gugu Mbatha-Raw, Renee Zellweger, and Jim Belushi. He played Richard, a defense attorney. Noel Murray of the AV Club described it as moderately clever, reasonably entertaining courtroom drama, with a skilled cast, but overall a mundane film. In 2017, Reeves agreed to reprise his role for a sequel in the John Wick franchise, John Wick, Chapter 2. The story carries on from the first film and follows John Wick as he goes on the run when a bounty is placed on him. The film was a critical and commercial success, grossing $171.5 million worldwide, more than its predecessor. Chris Hewitt of Empire magazine praised Reeves' performance, which complemented his previous action roles, Point Break and Speed. Reeves reunited with Winona Ryder in the 2018 comedy Destination Wedding, about wedding guests who develop a mutual affection for each other. They had worked together previously in Bram Stoker's Dracula, A Scanner Darkly, and The Private Lives of Pippa Lee. Reeves also co-produced and starred in 2 thrillers. Siberia, in which he plays a diamond trader who travels to Siberia to search for his Russian partner, and Replicas, which tells the story of a neuroscientist who violates laws and bioethics to bring his family back to life after they die in a car crash. Returning to the John Wick franchise, Reeves starred in John Wick, Chapter 3 Parabellum, 2019, the third feature in the series directed by Stahelski. The film takes place immediately after the events of John Wick, Chapter 2 and features new cast members including Halle Berry. The film was another box office hit, grossing $171 million in the United States and more than $155 million internationally. Reeves then voiced Duke Kaboom in 2019's Toy Story 4, the 4th installment of Pixar's Toy Story franchise. Upcoming projects. The Matrix 4, the 4th film in the Matrix franchise, is currently being filmed with Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss reprising their roles. In 2019, Reeves traveled to Sao Paulo to produce a Netflix series, Conquest. Details are being kept secret. Reeves will reprise his role as John Wick in 2 additional sequels, to be filmed back-to-back. On December 24, 1999, Reeves' girlfriend, Jennifer Syme, gave birth 8 months into her pregnancy to Ava Archer Syme Reeves, who was stillborn. The couple broke up several weeks later. On April 2, 2001, Syme was killed when her vehicle collided with 3 parked cars on Cahuenga Boulevard in Los Angeles. She was being treated for depression at the time, and police found prescription medication in her car. Reeves is discreet about his spiritual beliefs, saying that it is something personal and private. When asked if he was a spiritual person, he said that he believes in God, faith, inner faith, the self, passion and things, and that he is very spiritual and supremely bountiful. Although he does not formally practice Buddhism, the religion has left a strong impression on him, especially after filming Little Buddha. He said, "Most of the things I've come away with from Buddhism have been human understanding feelings, impermanence, and trying to understand other people, and where they're coming from." When asked on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert in 2019 about his views on what happens after death, Reeves replied, "I know that the ones who love us will miss us. Personally, I am a huge fan of Keanu. So that is for today, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Tell me your thoughts in the comments. Like and subscribe. Goodbye.